Rescue workers spend long hours training to ensure that in a real emergency, everything goes smoothly. But when firefighters respond to the scene of a blaze, flames are not always the only threat they face. We begin in the small town of Blue Mound, Texas. Dispatcher Kathy Enriquez's whole family works for the local fire department there, so whenever she takes a call like the one she got on the morning of March 14th, 1994, she has reason to be concerned.
Blue Mound 911, what is your emergency? Someone called to say there was a grass fire north of our city. My job is to answer every phone call that comes in. I'm the 911 operator, dispatcher, and court clerk. I dispatched the Blue Mound brush truck to the scene.
Lieutenant Mike Briggles had been a member of the force for 4 years.
The train that day was extremely muddy, and my truck was the only truck around that had four-wheel drive capability. Our fire department is strictly volunteer. It's our protocol to wait until another firefighter responds to the station before we can leave. And the first person to arrive that day was Matt Enriquez. Matt's a real nice guy, and he's a real good friend of mine.
Look too big, we can tap this one out pretty quick.
Normal precautions on a brush truck consist of a tethering device, also reverse lights coupled with a reverse beeper, which we hadn't installed yet. At the time we got there, the fire wasn't that big. Me and Matt assumed that it would be an easy one to tap out. There was fire on the right and left side, and the flames increased to about 10 feet high. It was soggy, and there was extremely good chance of getting caught in the mud. And it got to the point where I thought it was dangerous to go any further. I did not want to get my truck stuck when I was so close to the head of the fire. The way the truck is situated, I cannot see directly behind the truck. So I did not know where Matt was standing. On my last reverse, I felt the right rear of the truck bounce up. When I exited the truck, I turned around and I did not see Matt on the tailboard, and I instantly knew what had happened.
I need paramedic.
The next thing I heard was Mike screaming, "Medic, medic, I need a medic, and I need a medic now." Copy, care flight.
I knew he was dispatching. It was his mother. I did not tell dispatch that it was Matt. I just told that we had a firefighter down.
I know it's Matt. I just know that's what's going on. I got to call care flight. Matt was supposed to be at work. I had no idea he was on the scene, but I knew it was Matt immediately. I knew it was my son. It was just instinct.
Hear me?
When we continue,
He was unconscious. His helmet was cracked and broken, and the first thing that went through my mind was I'd killed one of my friends, one of my firefighters.
when a brush fire broke out in an open field near Blue Mound, Texas, Kathy Enriquez was the only dispatcher on duty. She had immediately called out the local volunteer fire department. When one of them was injured at the scene, Lieutenant Mike Briggles did not report who it was over the radio, but Kathy suspected it was her 20-year-old son, Matt.
He was unconscious. He was bleeding from the nose and the mouth. His helmet was cracked and broken, and the first thing that went through my mind was I'd killed Matthew Enriquez, one of my friends, one of my firefighters.
Blue Mound Fire Department responding. Medical emergency. Pat couldn't relieve me. She's not trained to dispatch. I felt absolutely helpless. I wanted to run and scream. I wanted to get out of there and get to him. It's my child. But I couldn't. I couldn't leave.
You all right?
I was amazed that he actually looked at me and said, I need to get out of here. I was very glad that he was at least alive. There was a lot of fire around us, and it's moving a couple miles an hour. I needed to get him some medical attention real quick, but nobody could get to us.
Okay. All right.
He stood up by himself and got in the truck, and that was good enough for me. I was going to get him out of there and get him across to the command center.
All right, you in? Yeah. Okay, we're going to get you out of here. Hurry. Okay, here we go. All right? Good.
He was in pretty bad shape, and I knew I'd done it.
What happened, Mike?
I ran him over in the fire truck. I think he fell out. Matt, you hear me?
It was very evident that I ran over his head. It was very evident that I backed over his midsection with the tire.
I know it's going to hurt.
It's a feeling I'll never forget.
Okay? Okay.
He was one of my firefighters that was under my command.
I know it's going to hurt.
And I'd felt that I'd hurt him real bad, if not killed him.
C1, any change in status on the firefighter?
10-9. 10-9, Blue Mound.
10-9 means I can't understand you. You're going to have to repeat. I ask again. Down to C1, firefighter status.
10-9, Blue Mound.
They kept saying 10-9 because they knew I was dispatching.
City Secretary Pat Stokes was a friend of Kathy's.
It was horrible to have to watch the pain she was going through, knowing this was her child. I was so impressed at her professionalism. She stayed right on her job. She did right what she was supposed to do. And there were tears. There was fear. It was just like you could cut it with a knife. But she was there.
Matt's friend, regional ambulance paramedic Jim Davis, arrived within 10 minutes.
I kneeled down next to him, and I asked him who he was, because I couldn't recognize him.
He's ran over. What do you got? He's been ran over.
He had blood coming from his ears and from his nose.
Yeah. I need careful.
He had a large abrasion across the lower part of his rib cage, and he was bleeding internally. And that's not so we can stop in the field. We can only slow it down.
No, we'll take care of it. I'm not going to let you die.
I was concerned he might not make it.
While Mike returned to fight the fire, 20-year-old Matt Enriquez was taken by Care Flight helicopter to a nearby hospital. Kathy joined her husband Manuel at the hospital as soon as she was relieved from duty.
When you're told that your son been run over, you feel like you lost your heart.
No, not yet.
Because when you love someone, you don't want to see them hurt.
Matt. As soon as I walked to the door, he said, Mama, I'm sorry. And he said, I kept thinking, God, please don't let me die. I want to go home. I kissed him, and I cried, and I rubbed his head and talked to him. You're going to be all right, Matt. But I was totally relieved, because when he said, Mama, I knew he was all right.
Although their son suffered back and neck injuries in the accident, amazingly, Matt's only broken bones were in his jaw and ankle.
Feed the fish?
It's probably catching that lake up there. You got to watch the back.
In the months that have passed, Matt has been slowly recovering from his injuries.
I still have a lot of neck pain and back pain, and my shoulder still hurts a lot. But other than that, I'm doing a lot better.
Yeah, no matter what.
My family gave me a lot of support. My fiance helped me recover a lot. I've seen how much she really cared for me, and that if I was hurt or healthy, I watched she'd always be by my side.
5 months after the accident, Matt and his girlfriend, Tabitha Jackson, were married.
If you go through traumas like this, it makes your relationship stronger. You're more aware of how special it is and how precious it is and how fragile it is. We have to take each day like it's our last, because I could lose him at any time.
The reason the accident happened is because there was a lack of communication on the fire scene. I should have told Mike that I was getting off and where I was going to be. But when we were wearing the helmet and the truck backed up over my head, it probably crushed my skull because it cracked the helmet.
Just a shield.
The mud helped out a lot also because it was an extra cushion. That's about all I did in my head. Without this, if I wouldn't have been wearing the helmet, it'd have killed me. Safety's first.
Saved my life.
Because if you get hurt, there's no way you can help anyone else out.
It's your last time, ain't it? Yeah. Better be.
Firefighting is dangerous. Accidents happen. Some are freak accidents. Some are misjudgment. And some are just flat mistakes.
Won't be the first time you got wet washing a truck, right?
I'm still amazed that Matt is alive. Anybody that's run over by a fire truck shouldn't come out like he did.
So you going to fireman school?
So I'm very happy that he made it through that day.
He has a whole lot to live for. He knows that his family will stand beside him. It doesn't matter what he goes through.
Stop it.
There's a lot of good people watching out for Matthew.